A lot of opportunities. So now we're going into the draft. First game. So it's Mongolia on the first pick. We're seeing Philippines on their second pick side, so which is mostly that we see. So Mongolia gets a chance to trade their own strong and comfort pick against Philippines.
Okay. I like that the fact that they took out the Ling first, right? And I'm wondering too, with Mongolia being the first pick and being on this side, on the blue side, if they, okay, never mind. There goes the Angela. I was going to say, they don't want to play the role, right,
Straight away
of possibly taking the Angela. I think we could still see them opt for one of the sustained lineups that we've seen before. I'm not sure if they kind of want to go with the Estes, if they want to even pull out the Florin. I don't know if that's the route. Or like you said, OSX, just be on comfort. Like, just stay
in your roots.
Yeah, stay your roots, be as comfortable as possible, and, you know, kind of build off that. Right now, though, the response seems to be the Diggy, the Franco. There it is. I was wondering if that would come out, too, in the first phase.
Yeah, three assassin heroes on comfort of Saison and as well as Unigo. That has been a first pick, right? Yesterday, the Angela.
Yeah.
Now, they're also focusing on the roamer of Mongolia. So will this be a marksman last phase ban for the first part, or will it be a straight roamer ban for Team Mongolia? So it is a straight roam ban. So this opens up Novaria for Mongolia to take.
Novaria is open. You also have Eve. They opt for the Novaria. Good choice, right? Again, the key here is early game. And you're probably going to give up the Eve if the Philippines wants to go that route. But I think Novaria is probably your best case scenario again, in this one, against this specific matchup. You want to be able to provide your team with as much vision as possible to work with. You do get some great poke, like we saw even yesterday, right? There was a certain time in that game against the Philippines where Cambodia was starting to get there, right? C-Cat was getting the damage on that Novaria, and then it just split push, right? It was almost there. So maybe Mongolia feels like they can get to that point. They can extend the game to really allow this Novaria to shine. The answer so far, though,
still the same.
From Philippines. The Uranus here, Claude. I know Mongolia. See that smile? That is. Remember what happened yesterday. We gotta have something for that.
Yeah. And
remember
what happened. They made a good split push with that kind of way, and that was against a Novaria as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if you are worried about the split push, that's where the macro prowess comes, right? And in terms of these teams out there, the way that they handle the waves, the way that they put pressure on the side lanes to alleviate some of the pressure around the neutral objectives, you have to be able to control that. This is also a pick popping up here quite a bit now again, and we've seen this counter pick before into the Uranus, right? The Dairoth, still a great option here. You just got to be able to land, especially the Abysm Strike that you need. At least it should work really well, or at least complement this Leslie pick if you can get to that point, you know, where you can shine as a Leslie. Because as we've talked about time and time again throughout this tournament, OSX, is these marksmen need time, right? They need time to build up. And just like that, look who is locked into the jungle here.
Hayabusa in Team Philippines. And you've mentioned the macro prowess of Team Philippines and how it works with wonders. Mongolia with a good pick of the Leslie. Their marksman actually reveals a lot of places in the map with his ultimate. So if they have
this is a ton of
way,
vision.
yeah, ton of vision. You have the Novaria, you have the Leslie. So this is like, okay, we know what happened yesterday. We know the split push happened. We need that radar. We need that coverage. And this is how they want to do it. Because in the second phase of the banning, you take out the Paquito.
Yeah.
That was we've seen
this
yesterday.
a couple times,
yeah. And trimming down also the choices there for the jungle or even for the EXP. So now Hayabusa is out, and for Mongolia, they might trim down. Yeah, we were expecting a good combo for the Claude, which is the Eve. You have that AoE, you have that setup, you have that escape. So they don't want you to get a kind of power in with their own composition. So they take it out the bag.
I'm wondering if Mongolia wants to go ahead and just ban out a Farsa too, and then that would kind of force some, you know, something, I don't want to say completely new, but something that's not usually part of the mid lane, right? Because you're going against Novaria here. And at the same time, we are just going to assume this is mid lane Novaria, but we have to also take note that it could be a roam still, right? There still is room for flexibility. Yeah, we've seen that actually in quite a few different tournaments even, right? So now last ban from Philippines going to be the Fredrin. Good choice here also being kind of flexed, has been parked in the mid lane by themselves, right? We saw that. And last ban, though, for Mongolia is actually going to be the Atlas, who we also saw in action yesterday, finally, right? Rolling with that focusing mark emblem, really allowing, if you get those multiple Fatal Link combinations off, it's a great just follow through setup potential. So now the response here from the Philippines, we're going to have to see exactly what they want to park in the mid lane.
You don't want that the way of getting into the back line of their own defense, because Leslie, at most of the time, he just uses his ultimate.
Yeah.
And his way is like keeping like, okay guys, you get the front line, I'll be at the back, just keep on shooting here. And also how the Astral Recall and Astral Echo could still be utilized. So that's one way of answering this. The Grok is a great way as well to even go and pinch them out of the wall in the next one.
The only thing that bothers me about the Garak too, I know, you have Dairoth over here. The animation of the Abysm Strike is so slow that if you wanted to, the Garak could just cancel it out with a wild charge.
And dodge, yeah.
Yeah, like that. So if that happens in these later skirmishes and team fights, that's a feels bad. So you are right that you have a lot of vision here available to you if you're in Mongolia. You do have some decent damage, especially if you can get to late game. But that's my point. You got to get there. You have to survive this. And I like it. I like it. This was banned out a couple times too. The Natalia.
And Philippine Bandit.
Philippine Bandit, yeah. They dealt with this. So in terms of entire composition here from Mongolia, it looks great, right? The boxes are checked. Going back to the boxes here, you got physical, you got magic, you've got great poke potential with both, right? Physical and magic, and then you have a menace. Well, it should be a menace, at least for the jungle. If you're not able to control this Natalia, or at least avoid the pressure put on the map from here, it's going to be a hard day here for the jungle, right? It's in terms of Philippines, and they're going to have to really secure Seisun here and allow him to get to the point where he needs to.
Yeah, and knowing the Hayabusa, so this was the thing that we're talking about early game. How do you even answer this kind of lineup? So in the way that Mongolia is seeing this threat, they want to amp up their early game with this Novaria and this Natalia, so that's one way of breaking out the map of the Philippines. So they want to have the wave to infiltrate earlier than later.
Yeah, I like this though. I like Mongolia's lineup. If they can make it work. And the biggest part of that is early game pressure, early game vision, which you have. Actually, you have vision for the entirety of the game. But, focusing on that step one is securing yourself the early game. And your transition, your power spike potential into the mid to the late is really good here for Mongolia. That's the biggest question, OSX, is like, can they utilize this Natalia? Because that's kind of like your ace up your sleeve, at least for the early game. Make it hell for Team Philippines to farm, to get objectives early on. And if you can do that, you kind of slow things down in your favor. That would be one of the biggest advantages for this lineup here for Mongolia.
But what if they can't?
If they can't, then we know what's going to happen mid-game.
Yeah.
we don't have to break it down too much, because with this lineup from the Philippines, it's very durable, right? And
completely.
Again, if the fallback later on is split push again, put pressure on the top or bottom lane, they always can go that route.
Of course. And game number one, we might see a different change here on how Philippines would actually secure their early game start. So looking back and checking out their emblems, is there any new combination you're seeing here, Mr. Naisu?
Okay. Well, I specifically even want to look at the Natalia here, right? Master Assassin also has the Fatal Emblem in Tier 1 and the Killing Spree, right? So the whole mission here for Ethan is, yes, to go find those kills early on, put out the damage, and be a threat. And that's something that is going to be up to Ethan. Again, we've seen the playstyle from him yesterday, so this is a little bit different. Also, at the same time, still you have even the Lethal Ignition being run on Seisun. This is an emblem that can literally fit in any role. Lethal Ignition. Yeah. And we've seen it up to this point, right? Also, too, the fact that Aizen, okay, there's some good poking there, Archangel, but still, Aizen, too, on this Dairoth, like I said, he's going to get a little bit of the advantage with the movement speed if he can when he procs that Quantum, but can he land the Abysm Strikes? I think that's going to be really difficult for him and kind of a test, right, in terms of this
It's a way of having a disciplinary way of approaching. Will you press it too early, or will you press it at the right moment where you had that enough burst to take one member out of the Philippines. I say now, Archangel is climbing his ranks of having this unique heroes pick in IESF. And it's just working in their own way of composing this lineup against Mongolia. So mid lane is the first priority here of Mongolia to hold. So they have early game spikes here with the Natalia, and even just to hold and to get the first turtle.
Yeah, so in a couple seconds here, it is going to spawn as they get set up in position. You can see them even putting pressure here on the bottom side against Cannon and Archangel. They might go for it.
Trying to stun, trying to hold on.
Level 4.
For Archangel, flicker out. Forced a resource there by Mongolia. Now Aizen forced a flicker as well. Cannon going with a trade and resource, but Unigo is here. Might be trapped with a claw dash now. Shadow kill. Will the damage be enough? Yes, it will. Saison takes the kill now. The turtle is up, but it's going to be reset by Team Philippines. Saura going to be using the heavy spin for safety. After recall will hit Archangel, but the turtle is on the side of Philippines, and Saison secures the first objective. But Cannon not letting go of Zora as Rekatiano as well. Here comes the tongue twisters.
Yes, I felt that yesterday, right? So here's the tough part about all that, the way that all unfolded. And now, again, just in the early game, you're already behind, right? If you're Mongolia, you kind of fumbled a little bit there, especially in the bottom lane into the turtle. And it was a great just show of discipline, once again, from Saison, right? Patiently waiting for that wild charge from Unigo, able to find the knock-up on Ethan, and then the plan was gone for Ethan, right? He was taken out so quickly, and the pokes that were put on ZXORA here, he was not able to actually contest that turtle. So now, with this minor lead that you'll see from the Philippines, they're going to keep putting the pressure on the jungle here of Mongolia and make it just, you know, slow things down a little bit. Hold on, top side though.
Well, Ethan receiving the damage of the BMI plus the Blazing Duet. Saison secures the kill. Guriano with the post, and Bebex now might be forced to be on a defensive state, but look at that. Shadow kill onto Bebex now. Unigo as well trying to hold them off, putting them all in the corner. But how Philippines rotating now, they're really trying to delay the power spike of Mongolia, and they're starting to go a great way in doing that from 4 minutes from now.
The tough thing here, like I said, with Ethan, hold on, they still might, no, they might not, yeah, they shouldn't be able to get this. Unigo's fine here. No, that's the thing. With Ethan, like I said, early on, you're going to be wanting to get the momentum in your favor. That's the whole reason why you picked Natalia. So already being 0-2 this early into the game kind of makes you hesitate a little bit more, right? Yeah. As they even put pressure here on the top lane, it's not enough to get the kill they're looking for, right? So even holding on, again, he has I feel like early game-wise, the time is already kind of run out there. Right, you are still a threat. You do have damage. You've got execute, but still, can you actually find the kill you're looking for? Now that this next turtle is for the taking here, both teams going to get in position. Cannon doing his thing with Uranus here, still trying to whittle people down the best they can and spot out Ethan.
Okay, now Mongolia is pulling the turtle on the side with the wall block. Look at that. Astro Recall now connecting onto the members of Philippines. Bebex, will he have a perfect target? No, he won't. Flicker out. That is a shadow kill connecting on to the marksman of Mongolia, falling down, pushing them into the back lines. Now Zora as well. Secure the objective. Now Philippines trying to island taking one trade. Aizen will be the target here. That's the wall. Evading the block. Now Saison going in deep. Look at that. Shuriken throwing over to Ethan just with the pokes. Now with the trade, Mongolia secures that objective. And meanwhile up top, Rekadiano getting busy with the push and the tower takedown. Talking about trades working for Philippines 0-4.
Well, taking a look at the items, how all this is profiting for the Philippines right now, almost a 3K ahead. You can see already DHS being locked in. Cannon picks up his Dominance Ice. That's going to help with some of the sustain coming through for Mongolia. And then, of course, right, you have these key items being picked up by the rest, already having the COD. Was that stolen?
We need to check.
That was.
That was stolen by
Saison.
That's completely blocking the way on how would you want Zora to even have a good angle.
No, think about it, OSX. Like, again, your game plan here, okay, he just goes, 4 bits done, right? Bebex might follow. They should be fine. They still go, though.
Yeah, Zora and Ethan might be in trouble here. That's Cannon trying to push away. But now Zora using the heavy spin to pin one down, but he might be in trouble. Archangel takes the kill. Philippines getting all the kills that they want, slowing down progress on Mongolia. Now they're pushing in with the lanes and as well as taking one more wave down bottom. We have the switch from Ricatiano down, up against Aizen. Now mid lane on a concealed state. Philippines will still eye on getting this push. Dominance Ice though, going into Aizen.
Yeah, but even with that pickup, like Dominance Ice for Aizen, what can you do, right? You're 4,000 gold behind right now, 7 minutes in. Usually, this is not the time where Philippines is pulling on a full power spike, right? But it's all happening before the third turtle. So you're kind of at this deficit. Yeah, you grabbed the turtle previously, but you lost so much in terms of itemization in comparison, right? And that's kind of what we're seeing, yes, especially in the economy. So you already see, Saison going to go ahead and start up that turtle. He knows how much of an advantage he has in terms of items. I mean, even if Ethan finds him, he's 3, almost 4 levels behind, right? So you can't really do too much, at least against the Philippines jungler. So that is a turtle secured, looking to plant themselves to take another purple.
Good zone out by Cannon, not letting Mongolia near the turtle area, now being pinned down by the heavy spin by Zora. Can even sustain damages. And as of this point, we can't see even the lethal burst from Ethan here, trying to get a great vision for Mongolia, but it's just purely on the lead. Philippines climbing up almost 4K and counting, and they're going in still with the clearing of the push. No turrets taken by Mongolia.
Uh-oh. It's
Cannon,
a full force effort.
Full force 5-man now, trying to target the Uranus of Team Philippines. He might not escape. Bebek secures the kill. And yeah, that was almost 4 ultimates used, but 3 from Mongolia. Here comes the response of Philippines. Saison and Unigo might target down Sora. No. And while that is happening, we have Ricatiano and Archangel pushing in mid, melting all the defense of Mongolia. This is the macro prowess once again of Philippines that we're seeing, Naisu.
This is exactly what we were talking about. Again, like I said, you draft in this hero in Natalia. Your game plan is that early game pressure, early game dominance against the enemy jungler especially, and that did not happen. Rather, the opposite, right? Saison is having a hell of a game here. He's 4-0-1, just stacked. He's level 12 already. This is going to set themselves up for a really easy lord take if they actually decide to fight for it, right? Best thing Mongolia can do is just try to find what they can across the map, and that's what they have been doing. That's what happened even to Cannon as they get in position possibly for more here. But they have to be very careful on how they approach this because they could get cut off as Cannon and Saison are not too far away as they continue to whittle down these tier 2 turrets, working on more space.
Saison going in deep, shadow kill. Okay, forced out. Passes out of that marksman. Now Saison and Cannon still on with its duo team up, forcing everybody out to be even peeled by Archangel and Unigo. That's the pin down wall charge onto 2. Now members now of Mongolia are dropping down 3 out, and it's still going and going. Ethan is trying to do it with the claw dash. Will the lethal burst be enough? No, it won't be. Ricatiano takes down 1, and 1 member left. It's Sora going back to base, and another objective freely being taken by Team Philippines.
I don't know why I saw that in slow motion. Unigo getting in position on the Grok, just having the perfect angle to work with the flicker, the wild charge onto 3 members of Mongolia. It just looked orchestrated, right? And there is the Lord being secured here for Philippines, now working with about an 8,000 gold lead as they get prepped up here. Here it is, right? This is what I saw in slow motion. Boom. Finds 3 with the wild charge and a massive setup there. And just, again, all that was because they tried to get the kill. Aizen was trying, he even used the flicker, the Abysm Strike combination, missed, and the rest of the team paid for it. And that is tough to deal with. And now you have to deal with the Lord coming down the mid lane. And at this point, again, Philippines is in a great position to just kind of press this situation. Flicker isn't available for Unigo, but he might just wild charge in if he finds an angle here as the Lord works on that first base turret.
Yeah, talking about angle, Unigo used the wild charge again. Look at the burst. Almost. Now being taken the base by a Team Philippines. Aizen falls down, a trade of 3-1. Okay, they're trying to have a trade, but Archangel will receive the casualty here from Mongolia. Now the base is open for Philippines to just keep on melting. And now the waves are now here with the flicker out from Cannon with the waves that they had. Right now, they're just pushing it. And now they're opening up the base. And this is just game number 1. Philippines with a great start up against Mongolia.
Those are nice. I'm assuming he flickered in there so he could get all the minions. Probably that's what it was, right? That's a big brain move. But again, this was near